Asang. All right. So it is 1 p.m. Welcome everyone to the Member Marketplace Digital Webinar. And our host today is Mazars. I try to remember Bazaar, so that's why I want to say it right. Bazaar. The title of the webinar is Creating Customer First Experiences with Microsoft Dynamics 365. And our speakers today are Ivan Cole and Randy Davidson. I will let them introduce themselves and their topic some more, but in the interest of time, I'll let them do that. For now, I'll just go over brief ground rules. If you have any questions as the webinar is going on, please type your questions into the chat and the presenters will respond to them at the end of the presentation or as they go along, as they see fit. So with no further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Randy Davidson.
Thank you, Naomi, and good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. I'm Randy Davidson. I'm a retail industry consultant and a Microsoft Dynamics solution architect. My background has been in retail, so my entire business career, just over 35 years now, I've been in retail, first as a retailer, and then on the technology side of retail, and for the past 15 years or so directly involved with Microsoft and Microsoft Dynamics Commerce, their retail product. Ivan?
So I'm Ivan Cole. Thank you, Randy. Very nice to be here. I'm a managing director at Mazars USA. Work closely with Randy and our team on our customer implementations and architecture. I've been working with Microsoft Technologies my entire professional career. I was there for the very first Microsoft Retail Customer Go Live. So with Microsoft from the very beginning, I have worked with Dynamics 365 even beyond that, and happy to talk to everyone today. We also have our practice director, John Accardi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. As Ivan said, I lead the Microsoft practice here at Mazars, and happy to be participating and having the opportunity for my teammates to talk to you a little bit about Mazars and the work we have done with Goodwill.
Perfect. All right. So just as we move forward, today we're here to talk about, the customer experience and how Microsoft Dynamics can assist Goodwill stores. So first we want to do just a brief introduction of who Mazars is and some experience we have with Goodwill organizations in the past, how we can help your business, and then creating a customer first experience and some solutions, Mazars Now solutions that we have available that we'd like to talk to you about. And then finally, how can you partner with Goodwill, or sorry, Mazars and Goodwill can partner together. So who is Mazars and what is, kind of the experience we have with Goodwill? Mazars in the US is a full service tax audit and advisory and consulting organizations. We've been around for 100 years. We are part of a global organization, but in the US, we're 100 partners with over 1,000 professionals, and we have 12 offices throughout the US. And the Microsoft practice is part of the larger technology and consulting organization within Mazars. And today, what we want to talk about really is how Mazars and Microsoft Dynamics 365 Commerce, can help Goodwill Industries. And as I mentioned, we have had experience with Goodwill Industries in the store, in their retail stores with Microsoft Dynamics. And Microsoft Dynamics 365 is really an integrated technology platform that allows businesses to minimize business risk, but also maximize the user experience. And it contains multiple modules. So there's commerce, which is, your retail, your point of sale in stores, merchandising, pricing and promotions, customer loyalty, but also can entail procurement, supply chain, and finance as part of the overall stack, as we refer to it in in the Dynamics world or in Dynamics 365. And as part of that overall, Dynamics 365 platform, it's a fully integrated system, and all of the configuration is managed centrally. So from a business perspective, there's no need, to dial into stores to change configuration. There's no need to do some of those remote activities where all of that centrally managed and configuration comes from the back office and then is deployed out to the retail stores from a point of sale perspective. It's a cloud-based application, so all through web browser. It's not on premise. It's all through Microsoft Azure. Excuse me, Microsoft Azure in the cloud. From specifically, how does Dynamics help support the Goodwill Industries and their stores? One of the areas is with the pricing and promotions. And in Dynamics, we have the ability to manage your color tags. So being able to manage that cycle of the color tags and discounting one color this week and a different color, a different cycle, but being able to manage that from the perspective of being able to set those up on cycles with effective dates so that you have the ability, I'll call it schedules, set those schedules up so that those prices take effect appropriately on the specific dates. And at the same time, from a promotional perspective, Dynamics 365 Commerce has a very I'll call it a complex promotional pricing engine that allows you to build very complex or advanced promotions that will attract the customers into the stores, but then it's based on a pricing engine. And as a result of that, it removes the need for your associates at the stores to try and determine what are those promotions that might apply at this particular time under this configuration. It allows the pricing engine to be able to manage that as opposed to having to have user intervention to calculate those promotions and provide the best benefit to the customer, which ultimately then improves the customer experience. Also built into the Dynamics 365 Commerce is customer management and loyalty programs. So now you can build your incentive programs for your customers to be able to gain loyalty points, customer retention, and bring them back into the stores and provide that customer experience loyalty programs that so many customers are expecting today. And then in addition to that, where we've helped the Goodwill stores is also from functionality in Dynamics 365 Commerce for built-in gift card capabilities. So it's all standard out of the box. And again, being a fully integrated platform extends those capabilities into e-commerce. So out of the box, standard functionality within Dynamics, you can quickly and easily stand up an e-commerce site, and then can you reach a larger audience, particularly with those items that might be unique, whether it's, maybe jewelry or furniture items, possibly bicycles, whatever it might be, to be able to expand your reach. But then also that brings you back into omni-channel capabilities that help meet customer expectations and also the customer experience. And with those omni-channel capabilities, even including curbside pickup. So then being able to have customers show up and have that curbside pickup experience as part of the e-commerce, or even with respect to maybe larger items that they might purchase and come back to pick up at a future date. And then we're also working with Microsoft on a Power App for being able to process the donated goods as they come into your organization, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But when you think about a digital transformation and how do you move from a current state into a future state, moving from on-premise to applications to cloud applications to a fully integrated solution, it can become a little bit complex. And how do you define or understand what the priorities are? What are the risks that would come into that? And then how do you ensure the success that the business needs to achieve as you go through that experience. And at Mazars, we have, in conjunction with Microsoft, what we refer to as an idea framework. And I'm going to pass this off to Ivan now to talk about what that idea framework is and how you can manage the priorities, the risks, and ensure a successful digital transformation.
Thank you, Randy. Randy talked about our ability to help kind of transition and roadmap from where you are today to where you want to be. But many organizations have a lot of balls in the air, and it may not always be clear what the most compelling priorities are, and then how those priorities affect the organization. So Microsoft actually has a Catalyst program that allows us to work with your organizations to understand those priorities. We leverage design thinking methodologies to help understand those priorities and how they affect the organization. And then we take all of those results as inputs into our road mapping exercise so that we can help you understand, what is the best path and what is the best path with the least downstream rework. So for example, many times we have organizations come to us and they need everything that Microsoft has to offer, but they need to start with the retail point of sale and stores. And then later they want to tackle finance or inventory or other pieces of the puzzle. So we can actually help you frame out that vision of what should come first versus the next. Now, our solutions are broad in the Microsoft platform. So we cover both Dynamics 365 finance and operations. That includes finance, supply chain, also includes commerce. Microsoft is the only ERP vendor that is invested directly in retail, point of sale, and commerce functionality into the core product. It's not some loosely integrated bolt-on system. It's fully integrated to the system, including point of sale, including call center, including e-commerce, and all of the native fulfillment options that are available. We also have the ability to leverage Microsoft Teams integration and Microsoft Azure and other BI and analytics capabilities through Power BI. So we can leverage the full Microsoft stack in the cloud to help your organizations, achieve the most. Many of us have years of experience working with Microsoft platforms. We've come to join John at Mazars to form this practice, and really exciting to have the best of the best of our experienced people working with us on these technology platforms, and many were involved in previous Goodwill implementations across the US. So again, really exciting to have the breadth of this team and the breadth of the Microsoft technology platforms to help us. Now, we've through the course of our 2 years so far have built a series of what we call Mazars Now rapid implementation offerings. We publish these on Microsoft's AppSource Marketplace, which is where they publish both IP and service offerings. We designed the rapid implementations for fixed timeline, fixed fee, fixed scope implementations that have meaningful scope that could be deployed to an organization. I mentioned earlier that we handle both Microsoft Dynamics Finance and Operations. We also handle the CRM platform that includes not only kind of sales and customer service, but also support functions and customer service. And we have some really good recorded demos and presentations on our contact center solution. And that's also one of the defined offerings on AppSource. And there's a link to get onto the Microsoft AppSource to go look at those. We also have one for e-commerce. We have and actually a new one for B2B, Commerce Express. We have a procurement solution, human resources, and ground to cloud assessment solution. That's also an interesting one because some of you may be running older versions of Microsoft Dynamics, maybe Dynamics AX or earlier versions of retail or even GP for that matter, and need a way to get to the cloud and need a good assessment of how to get there in the most efficient way. So that's a good call out for anyone interested in that. Now, Microsoft has been heavily invested in retail, as I mentioned earlier, directly investing in retail functionality in the core product. The new e-commerce solution that they have now offered was designed and architected based on the platform that run the Microsoft stores globally throughout the world. So highly scalable and configurable. And one of the great advantage of that is it's pre-integrated to Dynamics. You don't need a loosely integrated system. And then when those systems independently, get upgraded, you have to then worry about how to keep them connected. Microsoft platforms are founded on something called One Version. One Version means that Microsoft will push out application platform and functionality enhancements every month. You don't have to take every one, but you can't stay too far behind. But when you think about it, the big ROI there is that once you're on the Dynamics platform, you never have to do another ERP upgrade again. Anybody that has lived through those processes in their careers knows they're costly, they're disruptive. So staying up to date on a modern platform where Microsoft not only pushes out bug fixes and fixes in general that belong to everyone, they also allow you to enable new features and functions through a feature management console. So for example, Microsoft introduced clienteling as some enhancement to point of sale. So customers could enable that feature. They could do training and preparation of how their staff and workers and associates would leverage those new features and functions, and then of course roll it out to the field. So it allows you to actually continuously add new features and functionality that Microsoft is investing in. To me, that's the true definition of digital transformation, which is continuous business process improvement and being on a platform that will allow you to stay up to date over periods of time. So again, lots of broad functionality in retail commerce. We also are very closely aligned with the Microsoft R&D commerce team, have regular cadence with them. We talk about feature roadmaps. We also give them feedback from our work with our clients so that they know what clients are asking for. And again, it keeps us really very, very well connected and can help transmit some of your ideas to that team as well to be added in future releases. We've been, through our years, have worked on building out retail experience centers. We've done at least 2 of these. This is our 3rd one. And we're building out the Mazars US Innovation Center using the acronym MUSIC, where we orchestrate the music of integrated cloud business applications using Microsoft Dynamics, where we would demonstrate the end-to-end consumer experience, as well as the internal facing to your associates, how they would manage a consumer when they walk into a store, how you do loyalty, how you do customer satisfaction. We can integrate to customer insights, audience insights, to incorporate things like churn propensity and next best actions, things that help us win over customers as they're in store, increase basket sizes and customer satisfaction all at the same time. So we're excited about this innovation center. You could see from the picture on the bottom is that we started out as a virtual center. We did that because we started up right in the middle of COVID, and people weren't coming elbow to elbow in a retail center, and probably not much in stores. But what this allowed us to do is focus on both the virtual and physical, how to bridge together, how to get people to search online and then engage to pick up in store, or to be able to send a message to an associate in the store saying, hey, I want to come by, I have that really interesting antique dresser that I want to take a look at, or whatever the case is, that we incorporate all of those technologies. So we focused initially on virtual. We have a virtual try-on experience published on our music website, as well as some HoloLens experiences. So excited to have that continue to evolve with Microsoft technologies over time. We also have been focused on how do we provide solutions that really are targeted at goodwill organizations. So the first is, because we've been involved in some of the early retail implementations, Randy's done a lot of work with kind of predefining the standard business processes that we know that goodwill organizations need for their retail operations. So we'll kind of carved that out as a well-defined implementation. Randy mentioned earlier, we're working with Microsoft on the inbound product color labels for the inbound inventory registration and labeling and color coding. That solution is built on Dataverse, and we did that because some organizations may not be ready for retail or finance or other parts of Dynamics, but they do need contact center, and they want to be able to do the inventory registration and integrate to potentially some other system that you may have in place for now. So we made it flexible in the design so it could work for both scenarios, ones that are outside of Dynamics and the ones that could be integrated. And then, of course, we have our contact center, which is, one of the easiest implementations for us because we have defined that whole process. And again, depending on your roadmap and your priorities, you might need contact center first as a foundation, then build on retail, then build on supply chain and finance, or do contact center, then supply chain and finance, then retail, then commerce. Whatever that roadmap determines, we can help you determine the most efficient path, again, to have the lowest risk, the greatest value to the organization, and the lowest to no downstream rework, because we anticipate downstream functionality in those earlier foundation designs to make sure we're not wasting or missing a step. So we're excited to have these offerings. We also work with some of the top ISVs in the industry that work as integrated solutions to Microsoft Dynamics. So wherever we need, we can incorporate these solutions, and they're part of our, essentially our library of solutions that we can make available. And we continue to add as good solutions come in. We vet these and make sure that we understand that they follow all the right guidelines and they're, AppSource approved solutions, and that we have good experience with those vendors providing support. And that's one of the advantages of working with us at our team. And then our contact information at the end. We're happy to talk to any of you who are interested in discovering, how can we help, where you are in your process, maybe with a Catalyst envisioning session so that we could help establish the priorities and help you roadmap your solutions for the future. So thank you all for your attention. Appreciate everyone's time.
Thank you so much, Ivan. So the floor is open. We have 3 attendees, Craig, Doug, and Chris. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. The presenters, okay, here's a question. What if we are a goodwill organization running, actually I need to open up this chat so I see more of it. What if we are a goodwill organization running an existing or older version of Dynamics? Do you have a path for us to upgrade to the latest Dynamics 365 for the cloud?
That's a good question, and yes, we do. There are a lot of considerations when you do the upgrade. We actually have some really good blog articles published on our upgrade assessment, the components of it. If it's an AX 2012 system, we can actually do some automation and automatically upgrade components. But you have to consider a lot of things, such as what parts are already implemented. And when you made that original implementation, did you make good decisions? Has the org structure changed over time? Have you changed a bunch of things? Have you lost talent that knew the original version? So we can help you determine whether or not it's best to do an automated upgrade or a form of a re-implementation where we retain things like master data, or we may revise things like chart of accounts or dimensions and things like that, so that you get an optimized D365 implementation. So I highly recommend that upgrade assessment. And I think Pam can provide those links after, so you have the direct link available. Any other questions?
Thank you, Ivan. Yes, I'm looking to see if there are any more questions. Does Mazars provide ongoing help and support for Goodwill organizations that are on Dynamics 365?
Also, a good question. Our teams have built out a client care organization, so we could provide not just implementation guidance, architecture, and services to get running, but we can do ongoing support. For those of you who are on existing versions, we can actually provide support for your ongoing operations until you're ready to move to the cloud. And again, have a full end-to-end client care solution that Mazars offers any Dynamics client. So anyone interested, again, happy to provide more information on that. Next, is there another question? We're ready for another. Or any questions? All right.
So I think there's one last question here, Ivan. I see, you know, you talked about sort of migrating from existing Dynamics products that, you know, a Goodwill organization might have, but there's a question about transitioning from, you know, other systems.
And that's certainly a question that's close to our hearts because of the concept that we've been talking a lot about, which is road mapping. If you're on an existing, let's say, finance system and maybe a separate POS system, which is basically very common that we've seen over the years, there's a lot of separate systems that are loosely connected. If you're lucky, and if you're not, they're not connected at all, and people are double, triple keying in information to provide month-end reporting and customer details. So that's why we really think it's important to go through that road mapping exercise that says, if you're on existing systems, what is the best path, the most efficient path for you to get onto Microsoft Dynamics? It's not always feasible to do everything at once. And our experience is that if you looked at the end-to-end solution, you'd want it all integrated the way Microsoft integrates it, but you're not always in a position to have that luxury. So our solutions can help you determine that optimal roadmap. We do have to do an assessment of what the current landscape is, what the current data estate is, and how we would get you from where you are today to where you want to be. But we think that's a really valuable exercise, and we think we can help, again, make that plan for how to get to whatever disparate systems you're running today to Dynamics integrated solutions in the future.
Thank you so much. We're still waiting on more questions, so this is the chance. While we're doing that, if any of the attendees on the call would like to hear directly from Mazars, feel free to put in the chat, you know, open to one-on-one conversation, that type of thing, and that way I can share your information with Mazars for a little bit more deeper dives and detailed information about their product. So that's
Absolutely.
an option for you as well. Okay, we'll give everybody about a minute. If not, I'm going to say thank you to Mazars, to Ivan and Randy and Pam. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your insights about your product, your company, and all your capabilities. I look forward to working with you more. We have conferences next year and more webinars next year, so definitely you can continue to elaborate on your products and services to the Goodwill membership. And to our attendees who have joined, thank you so much for your time, Craig, Doug, and Christy. Thank you so much. And with that, I bid everyone a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.